There was a show called Doomsday Prepper back in 2012 that aired on a National Geographic channel. The people featured on that show were those preparing to survive various circumstances that may cause the end of civilization, including economic collapse, societal collapse, and electromagnetic pulse. The first season of the show was okay, but the following seasons turned prepping into a joke and turned preppers into weirdos. I personally did not watch the show when it was out. I did watch some episodes after the show's cancellation. With all of the outlandish stuff people were doing on that show, were they right? I mean, that show did address some serious concerns people had back then, and more so today. The show even identified disturbing behavior that it could occur during a societal collapse, like marauders. A marauder, as displayed in that show, is someone who preps in a different way, in such a way as to obtain the tools needed to roam the streets looking for targets to attack and pillage, basically stealing preps from other people to survive, instead of spending that time, money, and effort to grow their own food and stock up on supplies for themselves. The term prepper seems to be given to anyone who stores food, water, and supplies, whether it is food to get them through the winter, or in the event of an unforeseen or foreseeable situation such as job loss, minor health issue, or natural disasters. Do I see myself as a prepper? Nope. I see myself as a person who embraces both the old ways of living with little modern conveniences. The old way of living is how our great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents survived, before there was internet, TV, or even cars. Growing and preserving their own food, as well as hunting, was how they made it through the winter, droughts, and or famine. It was everyday life, normal life for them. Little to no government handouts. The family and community worked together to survive day to day. I like that lifestyle. But I also embrace technology to grow and preserve food easier. I preserve my food using dehydrators and freeze dryers that run off electricity, and small solar units to run small electrical devices using power from the sun when we have power outages. We grow our own food. We buy food from local farmers that grow food organically, and we buy meat from local cattle ranchers that believe in traditional grass-fed cattle. So there's nothing wrong with using technology or shopping for food. However, we are not 100% dependent on either. We have positioned ourselves to be in control of our food if we lost our jobs, if the supply chain breaks down even further, or if there's a momentary societal collapse. However, due to vast advancement in technology and our pampered lifestyle the past 100 or so years, most of us have no clue how to survive without a grocery store, municipality drinking water, or electricity. I do believe millions of people would lose their lives if we were without electricity for more than a month in the spring, summer, or fall. And I believe tens of millions of people would lose their lives if we lost power for more than a month during the winter season. Many people are finding out the hard way that being prepared is important to survive what is already here and what is to come. So many people are being laid off from work. People are maxing out their credit cards to feed themselves, their family, and pay bills. Homelessness has climbed sharply just about everywhere in the United States, and the number of homeless is expected to grow this year. And for those who were unfortunate to lose their homes, and those that lost their jobs without a backup plan, it is going to be extremely tough for them to recover for the next few years without major help from loved ones that are in a position to help them. Prior to 2020, I could see why people were willing to ignore the minor signs of what we are experiencing now. Prior to 2020, people would have never thought they would be forced to stay in their homes, not working, not going to school. People didn't think there would be global protests against racial inequalities, global around the world. Nor would people have ever thought of storming the U.S. Capitol. And it wasn't just here in the United States. There are anti-governmental protests in various other countries, even going on today. We were not used to the strange weather patterns, floods, droughts, storms. What about the Texas freeze of 2021 that left millions without electricity, resulting in 21 people dead? And the most recent historic freeze that swept across the country in 2022 that killed more than 60 people. There have been supply chain issues and food shortages 2 years in a row. There are spikes in crime. There's record high inflation and spikes in homelessness. Banks are closing, not to mention banks harassing people who want to withdraw large sums of their own money. We have hit the debt ceiling yet again with no good solution to resolving the root cause of the problem. The world's most powerful nations are at the brink of war. There have been several mass layoffs in 2022 and to start 2023. There have been millions lost in the markets and in crypto. Many businesses have closed their doors for good, even large ones. Take a ride in a retail section of your city and you will see many vacancies. The power grid is being attacked more than what is being reported on mainstream media. Can you handle a 2-week blackout? Replay the last 2 minutes and tell me there is nothing for people to prepare for. I didn't say worry. I am asking about being prepared. Yet people are still in denial as to the state of our economy. What is most alarming is people's willingness to rely on government to come to their aid if things continue on this path. Government's sole priority is to stay in power and to stay in control. Everything and everyone else are secondary. We, the citizens, are expendable. So I highly recommend, if you do not have a 1, 2, 3, 6 month food supply, that you watch some of my YouTube videos as well as other YouTubers who have been doing this for longer than I have, to learn how to grow food, store water, raise livestock if you can, guard your home, get out of debt, cook from scratch, and learn first aid basics, and so forth. And I don't mean you accomplish all these things as an individual, but working together with people that you trust. For every excuse you have for not being able to do these things, try to come up with a solution on how to do these things. If you do not have a house, ask a friend to grow food in their backyard. If you are elderly, offer your backyard to someone you trust to grow food and have them split the harvest with you. So I leave you with this question. Were the Doomsday Preppers right? If you enjoy the contents of this channel, please share, like, and subscribe to help this channel to grow.